Oh, good morning. Good morning. How are we doing, folks? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm your turn, LaVern, and this is One Street Over, and we got the gang in here today. I'm so excited. This is going to be a fun conversation. We like to get together and just say, hey, what's going on one street over from where we're living? And, you know, who knows better than our juvenile court judge? Judge Melanie Stark, you have to get on that microphone, sister. You're going to have to get right on that microphone and say hello.
Hello, everyone.
There we go. And you have brought friends. So let's go around the room and introduce yourselves. And I'll tell you, y'all can kind of pass that mic between you there. I think that will work. So go ahead.
I'm Rebekah Slayton. I'm the Youth Services Director for the Robertson County Juvenile Court.
Okay. And Miss Sharon?
I'm Sharon West, and I'm the Youth Service Officer at the Juvenile Court here in Springfield.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know anybody that could have a better pulse on what's happening in our county than the folks dealing with our next generation, right? And the things. Go for it.
Well, I just want to add, we have another youth service officer, Mr. David Walker. He couldn't be with us this morning due to family obligations, but he's one of our star players. Otherwise, he'd have been here, but he's part of our team, and he's part of what we do, and so we just want to throw his name out there, too, because we know he's been on the show with the Robertson County flag football.
Okay.
So you've had.
I'm making all the connections here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharon came in. She goes, you know me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, because she caters with the recovery court. Plug your catering business. Plug your catering business real quick. What's the name of it?
Southern Girls and Guys Catering Service.
They're so good. They're so good. And so they're catering this time for recovery court graduation. So we'll talk about more of that later. We want you to be there. So where do we start? What's going on in our court system, and how long have you been judge and all those things?
So
get right on that microphone for me.
I'm sorry,
Judge. That's okay.
I've been on the bench or serving on the bench since 2006.
Okay.
First appointment was under retired Judge Burton Glover, and then again appointed under current Judge Joe Perry, and then reappointed under his second term with Judge Joe Perry. From the time I started staff with Youth Services Office, we added Miss Slayton, I believe. I came on board September, she came on board November, and then Sharon was added a few years ago when a youth service position became vacant. I think David Walker was added around 2014, it seems.
Yeah,
13, 14.
Over 10 years ago.
Yeah, so he's been staffed 10 years, maybe. And then with our combined experience, because Sharon was formerly with the Department of Children's Services, so she's always acted in youth service related juvenile justice. Rebekah Slayton likewise was with DCS for how many years?
6 years.
6 years. And then in 1993, when I graduated Western Kentucky, I started as a youth service officer in Robertson County. So I served in the positions that they've had when I was when I completed undergrad and started my career in juvenile justice youth services. So I think we have combined experience, David Walker included. If everything was combined, 70 plus years of combined juvenile youth services.
I love it.
And this is all we've done career-wise, and this is pretty much all we know.
So you're experts.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, yes, absolutely, you're experts. And but
Say yes.
there you go. You absolutely are experts, and I love that you unpack that background, because I think a lot of people, we know that we have to elect judge, and but when your position is that you are appointed, right? And so that was one of my questions this morning as I was thinking about talking to you, is what is the situation? How do you get to be a juvenile judge?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you get there? I guess your experience, your credentials, the things that you have that adds value, your knowledge and expertise. Of course, magistrates could be political positions.
Yeah.
But that's not the case here.
But I like that. Yeah.
But there's 95 counties in Tennessee, and roughly 50 of the 95 have full-time or part-time magistrates. Larger jurisdictions like Davidson County has 7 or 8. Memphis, 7 or 8, maybe up to 10 added down there now. Hamilton County, same thing. Knox. So Some jurisdictions have more than one magistrate. A lot, the smaller counties like that might fit Robertson County's population number have one. Cheatham County just added one, so they have a magistrate now. But what statute provides is that position serves at the pleasure of the general sessions, elected general sessions or juvenile court judge, which is Joe Perry, and that magistrate serves strictly in juvenile matters as assigned, and that's all magistrates do, juvenile court magistrates.
Okay. It's fascinating to me. I mean, that's one thing. I've learned so much about the court system getting to know Judge Perry, and there's still so much more that I need to learn. So what cases do you hear?
Right.
What are you? Because I have asked Judge questions, and he was like, "Well, that's
Ask her.
Yeah, that's Judge Stark, and
that a lot.
that's her now. That's her now.
Yeah. And I take that as a credit to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Oh, he has all the confidence in the world in you. He brags on you all the time. Just so you know. Just so you know, he brags on y'all big. Because I mean, man, you talk about a daunting task. Because you're working in the schools. And we have our little knucklehead kids, and they're good kids, but they've just kind of gotten crossways. And you just want to see, can you just kind of get their attention and just say, please, please, please choose a better path. There's so many options out there. And if you can get a hold of them here, my goodness, it is absolute life changing. I've got a gentleman that I'm working on that just got out of prison after 44 years.
Wow.
He had to have gone in as a young man because he's probably my age. And I've not confirmed him for tomorrow, but tentatively he's going to be in for our Faith Friday segment tomorrow. But I think about what got crossways with him, So man, you guys have got a huge task on you. So God bless you. But what cases do you hear then? So if you can answer that question for me.
This all people, juvenile court's not really like the court that gets talked about the most or gets the most attention. So it's commonly confused like, oh, I had no idea you did that. And every time I go somewhere and speak, they're like, gosh. And I do so much and wear so many hats that I have to write it down because but what you're most familiar with would be like the juvenile delinquency, unruly, and dependent, neglect, and abused children. So, and that is, if this was a pie chart, that's a good 40% of cases that come through juvenile court. But I also hear a hefty amount of out-of-wedlock paternity, custody, and visitation cases. So I have no divorce jurisdiction, but any child born out of wedlock, and if you think about, children that comes from non-married parents, I hear all of those in the county. It deals with paternity of a newborn, custody, visitation, how do we split the child, so to speak. I also hear out-of-wedlock grandparent actions. So, and they're not a large part of the docket, but they, if a grandparent action is filed, then it's because people can't agree on what it looks like for a grandparent to have visitation. And so it's going to be contested and it's going to be a time-consuming case, as is a lot of the paternity and custody visitation actions. Then I hear out-of-wedlock 4D child support docket. And that is, again, non-married parents. I have jurisdiction over those child support cases. And then with those cases where they receive state benefits, I have jurisdiction over those child support actions, and we just had a child support docket yesterday. So then I also have jurisdiction over victims' compensation trust over minors, and that's when a juvenile has been harmed in such a way that there is compensation provided by the state. Their parent may have been murdered, so they're a benefactor of a compensation fund, or they could have been violently raped, and they get a victim compensation fund, and I manage that money for them until they turn 18, and then they can, invade the corpus and take all of the money from that fund. I also have guardianship jurisdiction, and then interstate compact over minors, and that's when minors cross state lines that maybe should or should not be here, and we have to deal with another state on what's the best action. And that could be a runaway found on Interstate 65 out of Florida, and THP pulls over for whatever reason, and this is a Florida runaway, and that's interstate compact. So then I have to enter conversations with the Florida authorities on how to get the child back, or what is the proper thing to do with the kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here listening to this, and these are all the things that just, they tell you, I can't remember exactly where I heard this. They said, if you want to really find purpose in your life, find something that makes you angry and do something about it.
Absolutely.
All of these things that y'all have to deal with, it makes you angry because so very often it's not the kid's fault. It's because they have encountered. Now they get to a point. They are responsible for their actions. There's another thing I've heard that says that yes, you're not at fault for what's happened to you, but it is your problem that you have to work through. And we work in Celebrate Recovery, and that's kind of a mantra that it doesn't matter. Whatever's happened to you breaks our heart. But when you get to that place of responsibility, these little ones, they don't know what to do. But when they get into their teen years, they've got to start taking responsibility, and it's a problem.
Right.
And they've got to learn how to process through it. That's why we have recovery court and all these things. But, oh my goodness, all these things, if we can just get a hold of these kids at this age. And it's just amazing.
And then to add to that, when we do become involved, and you're talking about, the age of taking ownership and responsibility, and what does that look like for that child? Let's say they're 14, 15 years of age. We've got to uncover and unpeel like an onion all of the trauma, all of the things that have happened that's brought them to this point. It's unbelievable, and some things are the unimaginable that some of these children have been through, and you can't undo 14 years in a day.
Yeah.
That's a process too. We have a lot of kids that come out of juvenile court, and I think of one specifically that had quite a bit of time invested in them, and they turned 18 before they finished school. And all I could do was say, please finish school. You're smart. You can, this particular child had lost both their mother and their father, and had not had the best of circumstances in life, and life had not been fair to this young person. But at any rate, they did not see fit to finish high school at that time. They were 18. They needed to get a job. They needed to have some self-sufficiency. And I said, if you ever change your mind, you come back to me. I will help you get back into school. We're even though you're 18 and you can make this decision, I'm not pleased with your decision, but we'll still be here. We'll still help guide you. Well, when this young person turned 26, I got a call.
Oh, wow.
And they said, you remember telling me this? And I said, yeah. And they said, I want to get my high school diploma. I want to finish school. I can't support myself and now with family. And so we were able to get them into the adult program here with Robertson County. It just started. And I said, I know where you need to be. And that young person is now a high school graduate.
That's wonderful.
But they came back, and that's what we know. We can't get frustrated that we're not seeing immediate correction. Everything is small. We're all complex. So you got to look for the little things that they're doing right. And from that, you just grow. And a lot of times it doesn't take until they do cross over into 20, 21, 22. And it is very rewarding when they come back and they see you and they say, you know what you told me? That was true. Or they end up in the military, that they had some very sad circumstances, and now they're career military. We have a few of those, and they stay in touch. Yeah.
I think one of the questions I have as I sit and just listen to you guys unpack this, and for anybody that's working with these just constant heartbreaking situations, how do you process and how do you deal with it? How do you not take it with you all the time, or do you just pray through it? Because
you hit it.
Yeah, you just pray through it. You have to.
I'll share this, and we can't touch. Every one of us are people of faith, and we all pray. And we pray together some. And that's Amen. Mr. Walker, too.
Yeah. I know. I've talked to this young lady about her faith
through a storm.
We got to you got a TSU number 5 that ran for a 59-yard touchdown a couple of weeks ago. Bill Jones going, oh, Sharon. I'm sorry, I got to throw that in there. While we're talking about her. But,
we don't mind throwing in Fat Cat. Yeah.
Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool. But yes, she is a woman of faith. She is a woman of faith.
She is.
And I'm just so proud to have y'all in here because man, y'all's work is hard.
And we're prayer sisters. We got a prayer brother. And you say, how do you do it? I don't do it. That's
God does it. God does
I don't.
It. He does it every day.
In fact, if you cause me to think much about it, it's overwhelming. So I don't do it.
You have to just set it aside and just and trust it because
God's got this.
God, I know where you got that.
Yeah.
Did Billy give you that, Billy Vogel? Because he hands those out.
Joe Eden gave it to me, but Joe Eden gave Billy Vogel's his first.
Oh, you're kidding! Billy Vogel hands those things out all the time, and I love that. I love that. And that's that. We're so blessed in this county because the people who are in leadership here, for the most part, I can't say all. I don't know, but everyone I've met are people of God, and they get that we've got to get back centered and get because that's one of the biggest things. And we can't, and I'm in the public school system, so I can't go in there and have a Bible lesson with them. But I want them to see Jesus in me every single day. Every single day.
Everything. You're
so
witnessing.
You girls are going to have to get on the mic because you are talking around the mic. So when you lean in, maybe push it in and all that because I'm only hearing you guys in the room. So, so when you talk right into that microphone for me. But do you agree that, that's the thing. We've just got to show them Jesus. And that's one thing. What are the limitations for you guys with the kids you meet? Because I've got limitations as a teacher.
We have the same, if not more.
Separation of church and state. We're considered a government entity.
Which isn't a thing. But
right.
Anyway, we
I
know.
Yeah. But as a Christian, as a believer, what I believe and what the Bible teaches is that they will know we are Christians by our love and by the fruits of our spirit, which we show to them in our actions, in our reactions, in our interactions with them. They will feel that grace, that mercy that we've been granted, and they need to know they've been granted by the mercy we show them.
Amen. That's just it. That's just it. And that's what we have to do is we just have to show Jesus. It's like preach Jesus every day, and when you have to use words. I forget who quotes that, but anyway. But y'all know what I'm saying.
Sure.
But so tell me this: is there when you're dealing with, and I think this is another question of the public, when you're dealing with a young person, is it that magic 18 that you're like, okay, you're accountable? I don't get that. No. Because some of them at 16 are like, you know better. And how do you weigh that?
Actually, we are, since the JJRA of 2018, which is the Juvenile Justice Reform Act, we are required to be trauma informed and responsive courts, meaning that we have to take into account this child's trauma and their ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, which the number one ACE in the South, basically, but as far as the studies go, is divorce, and we know how many kids are deal with that. But we have to take that into account and provide a holistic approach to this child. I think I'm going to go back a little bit to when we talked about fault. The brain science, and this is absolutely science, says that the human brain, the prefrontal cortex, which is our critical thinking, is not fully developed until you're 25 or 26, and that's male and female. And I have argued that before, that it's just male, but it's male and female. So literally, you're talking to a child whose brain is not fully developed and cannot, because of that lack of development, understand what they're doing or the consequences of what they're doing at the time that they're doing it.
Right.
They are thinking with their reptilian brain or their amygdala, which with a child with trauma is scanning for danger 40 times a second.
Wow.
So you have to, when we talk about, when we deal with a child and family, we don't go on a fault-based analysis. Right. They know why they're there. They don't need that repeated to them. We go on, how did we get here? We know how we got here. Now, what do we do to get here? because this is where we want to be. What do we have to work with in y'all's family, in this child's life that is positive, that is going to break the barriers to get here
Okay.
to a healthy well-being?
Because that's what the juvenile
And
that's because that's what the juvenile court is. We're a rehabilitation court, and what that means is that we try to rehabilitate the kids so they won't have to go across the hallway.
Right.
We let the kids know when we meet with them that we're not here to judge you. We're here to help you, because some kids come in nervous because it's our court, and I just have to put that out there. Juvenile court is not just a court to discipline you. We have a job to do, and the judge have a job to do, and she's great at what she does, and she's very knowledgeable. And as Rebekah and David, I feel like I have a great team that I came in working for. Melanie, I used to work with Melanie, but now she's my boss, and I enjoy, and she's very knowledgeable, and she's fair on the bench. She's very fair, and she's strictly by the book. And that's when the kids come in, I let them know that, hey, we're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. What we need to do to get you where you need to be. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy working with the kids in the community and helping kids rehabilitate and get where they need to get to be successful young adults.
I love this. You have something you want to interject on some of the things they said?
Well, she was spinning off what Sharon was saying. By statute, juvenile court is a treatment and rehabilitation court. It's lined out in 37-101, and we are to remove the taint of criminality and substitute thereof, and I can almost quote it word for word, but substitute thereof a evidence-based rehabilitation or treatment program for that child to reduce the chances of them going into the adult system later on. It's to interrupt like the breeding ground for further criminal activity, reduce recidivism. So, and we're to use, modern research, sociology, psychology, things such as that to break that cycle of coming from juvenile court, and as she said, across the hall, meaning adult court.
Right.
And nothing is more heartbreaking than seeing someone that you worked with in juvenile court next on the general sessions. There, once upon a time, we could almost predict those as we saw them, like they're going to be across the hall. Now, with the new science and JJRA is going to prove in the right direction with the treatment rehabilitation, we're seeing less recidivism already. Wow. And we're going to get that quality data in the next few years because we're under new data requirements. We know it because we know when we see you twice versus I haven't seen you again. If I see you again, I'll be, this is the second time I've had to, address you or talk to you. So now we're talking about kids that are not necessarily in the mental health category, those which is a growing population. We speculate that come out of COVID and what COVID has done to us. We know what it feels like as an adult. Imagine being a teen through COVID.
They've lived through their Black Plague.
Yeah.
And another thing about these kids that we have to combat all the time is their first language they learn is not English or Spanish. It's digital. They're digital natives. That is their digital. That is their native tongue is digital. And they have instant access and instant gratification or desolation in their hands.
Yeah. That's amazing. So we're going to be. I kind of wish I'd blocked out an hour for y'all. I do wish
we can do a part two,
but we'll have to.
We have a big announcement later on, but we're not ready to give it yet. So,
well, we'll get our emails straight. We got crossways. It was just a God thing, like Melanie was saying, Judge was saying that we even got in touch with each other because I had some obscure email and don't know how I got it, but at this something point, Aaron Slayton, he's a Marine.
He's our buddy.
Yeah, and he says, he thinks about that wars are fought primarily by men under the age of 25.
That's right.
My son served under 25. I'm sure Aaron did as well.
He did.
And you think about the development of the brain.
Right.
And wow. I mean, I never thought about that. That's fascinating. I'm going to go back and listen to this because I just want to get all the details of what y'all said. I think that, before we wrap up our time together today, and we will get y'all back in here, what do you need from the community? Is there something that you can say, hey, we're working with these kiddos. What can we do? What can I do as a teacher Because I've got knuckleheads I see every day that I can just see that they're not applying themselves. You just wonder. I'm thinking about one right now that I'm concerned he's up to no good because of the way he comes to class all the time. He's just always half asleep, and and you just there's something going on. There's something going on. So, do you have some advice for teachers, for adult, for all of us in the community? What can we do? And we'll go around. We'll let we'll
go her go first.
Okay, sure. And then we'll let you guys, and we'll have to wrap up our time, and then
sure.
we'll just have to hit another time.
Sure. My observation over many years, and it remains the same, all children, all youth are looking for one caring adult. Listen to me, stop, see me eye to eye, see me where I stand.
Yep.
Don't stand over me, don't talk down to me. The first thing you can do to isolate a child from you is to stand up over them and stare them down and talk down and tell them you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And
doesn't help.
Right. But it's face to face. And sometimes some of these kids have so many walls built up that it's hard to trust you right off. So you have to just persist and show that and there's been others that have abandoned them, but said, I will be there. I will listen, but then they're gone, So the child needs, or that youth more particularly, needs that rapport and needs that one caring adult that will listen and not judge, and everything can start changing from that point. Now, it doesn't mean it doesn't, we all want everything in a microwave, instant.
Yeah.
You cannot get instant behavior, corrected behavior out of a child. It's a process. But each time they're doing something better, again, no matter how small it seems, it needs to be rewarded. It needs to be acknowledged because that child's making that effort. And they're looking for that affirmation. They want it. They want you to notice. They want you to see. I think of a little one time that was having some trouble in juvenile court, and he had historically not did well at school. And one day I was coming down the hall before court had started, and he had improved on his paperwork and grades. He didn't have a report card, but he was so eager to show me. He was sitting there, his grandmother had custody of him, and he jumped out, when he saw me, and he said, look.
Isn't that great?
And it wasn't, A's or B's, it was C's, but he was so proud, and he brought them personally to show me,
That's cool.
that he had improved. So he wanted certain affirmations. And so, but, we serve the cases that we serve, and we wish we could do everything for all kids, but that's not possible. But you said, what can the community do? That's what community can do.
Be the adult that loves them.
Yeah,
That's
take the time, listen, because you'll be amazed at what they'll share and tell you. If they,
I've already noticed that. For sure. I love being in the classroom. I do. I love these kids so much. And my homeroom, it's like when I told them, I said they'd had a teacher before me with their homeroom and it's supposed to follow them through senior year. And they're like, oh, you're going to leave. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I mean, unless the good Lord removes me. And I said that to one of my kids. He goes, that's so dark, Miss Vivio. You mean to die? I said, I'm not going anywhere. I promise you I'm going to be here. So, I mean, I'm going to be there with my kids I'm with right now, unless the good Lord just, something I can't affect. I'm committed to that. And so, because I think they need that. And so, we're out of time.
Right.
I was going to say, but go ahead.
All of our children are our investment. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Real quick.
We've got to stop asking the child, what the heck is wrong with you? And ask them instead, why is it that you feel this is the only way to act? Yeah. What has happened to you to cause this reaction? Why are we getting this behavior? What's causing this behavior? What do you need from me that will help you? Instead of, what the heck is wrong with you? Just to piggyback again off what she said, we need to listen to, we need to effectively listen. We don't need to listen to respond or react. We need to listen to receive that message and understand that message.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Okay, you got any parting thoughts, Sharon? We're over time.
The only thing that I'm going to say is that I agree with what they said, and you just have to listen to the kids. Listen to them, because some kids just need a listening ear.
I love it. I love you guys. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
My
you.
goodness, this is a pleasure. And we will get you back on the schedule, and we'll probably give you an hour next time because I think we could probably do an hour.
We
for
I
sure.
believe we could.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
This is our juvenile court represented right here, you guys. And share this and make sure that you do what you can to affect change in the life of a kid. Just love them.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Judge. Thank you,
Thank
ladies,
you.
so much. I'll let y'all switch out while we let the others come on in here. We have got, this is United Way time slot, as you know, coming on in here. We missed them last week, so they got updates on all things going on. And I want to update you on Barry and Rebekah Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. So many ways that you can get in touch with them. You can just walk in the office if you want to. All you got to do is just walk in and go down to the new office that's there on the square in Springfield. Barry has opened up. He's the broker there in Springfield now. And you're going to find that, that new office that you can go check out. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to him anytime. Rebekah is in the office in White House. She's the broker there in White House, and they're with a big team, the Exit Realty Garden Gate team, massive team, and they are there to serve you. They've got everything you need, whatever you're searching for. A couple of ways to get a hold of Rebekah. They have got she has a Facebook page. She also has a web page just like Barry. You can give her a call at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or go to sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, RobertsonCounty.com. They buy and sell. They specialize they buy and sell. They help you with any purchase or sell. But they are specializing in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell, help you with purchases in Kentucky and the surrounding counties. They are great folks, great friends of this program, great friends of the community. Barry and Rebekah Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. They're even saying, man, if you want to be a realtor, come on down and they'll help mentor you into a new career. Get in touch with them today. Barry and Rebekah Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Be sure to let them know U-Turn sent you. Well, the prodigals are back. Put that microphone on there.
Those are my favorite ladies out there.
I'll put the microphone on top of that pad. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can't limit some of the little, whenever people, because it's so hard. Yeah, it makes the mic rattle.
I'm sorry.
And it's so funny because I'm one of these people. I'm like I'm a podium pounder too, and so I thought, well, we'll try putting little, pads under the microphones and see if that'll cut down some of that rattle. But
and I'll keep my hands off the table.
and I had one done that way, and then Judge Stark, she was. And I was trying to get it over to her because I had forgotten to put the one under the other mic. But hi, y'all.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great, man. It's a rainy day.
It is. We did. This is a welcome sight. It was getting a little dust bowlish out there.
The creek was getting so dry.
Yeah.
I was like,
I heard the ocean was coming up the Mississippi River because there wasn't enough water going out to push the ocean back.
So we're getting salt water up in
Mississippi. I think it was Mississippi.
I didn't know that was even possible.
I didn't either.
I learned something every time I sit in this chair, man. That is.
That's science.
It blew my mind a little bit.
We watch with my kids' homeschool. They've got this news show called World Watch, and it's
interesting.
And that was on there yesterday, and I was like, who knew that was a thing?
I didn't.
Now we know. Yeah.
I learned something all the time.
There's a podcast idea for my kiddos.
Yeah.
My students we're all podcasting, and so it's so much. I'll listen. I'm getting such a kick out of them, and. There will be things published very soon. I hope because they got to have it edited. They have to have it all right. I've got a lot of raw footage, but I'm like, you got to have it ready to go. And so, I'll say, look that up. Because they're always like, what can we talk about, Miss Vivio? Anything. That's the thing. That's the great thing about podcasts. And there will be an audience out there that is into whatever that thing is. It's amazing. We have these little pockets. I'm glad that I grew up in an era without the technology with the phones and all that stuff because, we didn't want that stuff on tape. But I do admit the podcast would have been fun. Yeah.
That would have been fun because we would have definitely done all that stuff. That would have been a lot of fun. So,
See, what we're doing the Greenbrier Bobcast, and it's going to be anything and everything. It's going to be a lot of student information and stuff like that. But one of them the other day, he was like, I'm going to ask everybody what would their last meal be.
It's actually a fascinating
question. That's a great question. It says a lot about you. It says a lot about you.
We're also working on one that we've got several Hispanic students, and they're in Spanish. And I forget what it's called. He's going. You're giving away our ideas, Miss Vivio. But it's talking to them. They're the silent ones. And what's their stories? What's their stories? Because that's one of the Spanish teachers told me. Says you got to hear some of these kids' stories. I'm like, oh, we're going to get, I mean, we're getting into some silliness. One of them's doing a Dungeons and Dragons thing, a character kind of thing. And,
fun.
You know, and then one's talking about who Taylor Swift's dating, you know, and I'm getting such a kick out of it. But it's the things that they're interested in.
Yeah.
And we're just throwing it out there.
That's what
it's just fun.
that's on my radar now because it's a football player. I know this now because I cannot get through my sports news without hearing about it.
Yeah.
And I had a buddy of mine. We all on a text thread, and we're all older a little bit, obviously. And he was like, he's officially fed up with it because he can't read his sports. So I was like, it's the power of Taylor Swift, man. Like, if she's in her anywhere in her area, so yeah.
So funny.
The NFL is loving that. I promise you, though.
Of course, they are.
Yeah, yes.
Should be doing the NFL song pretty soon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good for them.
All right, what are we talking about, y'all?
Well, that was quite the reunion. Not really a reunion because I see those ladies all the time. They are part of the Robertson County Prevention Coalition, and I love that the court has gotten really involved with that. And I would like to invite anybody who's listening who would like to get involved in our children's lives to come to the Robertson County Prevention Coalition. It is the second Thursday of each month at the library, and we talk about all things prevention. How do we get the kids to not become addicted? Like, how do we stop the problem before it starts? I really think prevention is such a huge platform, and so those ladies are huge supporters, and so I absolutely Rebekah she's the historian, but she pretty much runs the whole thing, and so I love her because she keeps me very organized because I'm the board chair, and so anyway, we're doing great things and trying to bless the lives of children and make sure. I feel like it's two parts: the education, right? We need to teach them about what drugs actually do to you, and so that in the moment you actually already have that education. But and it's also connection. Kids need connection with other people, adults, humans, and so much of our life is spent doing this, and we're not looking up and looking at each other. And so, anyway, so yeah.
What she said about their first language being digital, I was like, oh my goodness.
I've heard that before, but that's true.
That is.
That's very true.
That's mind blowing because I talk to my students now who are in their teens, and they have no concept of some of the things. I'll mention something. I'm like, you don't know who that is? When we were doing the 9/11 memorial, we were remembering 9/11. I said, one of the most powerful things I saw was when when Bono got out and they sang Streets Have No Name, and then they dropped the names of all the victims behind
the Super Bowl. It's halftime of the Super Bowl.
Breathtaking.
Yeah.
Breathtaking. And I showed them a clip of it, and it was like Bono ran, he comes out, and he runs the circle of the stage, and there's the names. And then you know how that rock and roll kind of scream. It was an extended just scream that he did. And I said, he was screaming for us. And anyway, it gets me. But they're like, who's you two?
Well, see,
I was like, what? How do you not know who you two?
You're going to get me on a tangent, but how, like when we were growing up, the older acts, because they would be an older act, I still knew who they were.
I know.
What happened? Is it because there's, with the digital being their first language, like you're saying, you're so connected to just your stuff that you don't have the mainstream, because we watched stuff with our parents, because there was just, like, it was whatever was on television, and there wasn't that many options, and so, like, I'm going to use...
We had, like, one radio, so whatever your parents were playing, you got to listen
in the
to
car,
and now they're all individually connected to their own device, so they can listen to their own. So my kids, though, that was part of our homeschool, was good music education.
That should be a top class.
I think so too.
I play it all the time, and my daughter will hear something now that I'm listening to that I like. And she said, I like them. Well, what is, I've played it enough around the house and outside when we're cooking out, and she's heard it. But that's how I grew up with music too. It's constantly on. Yeah. And so you it just gets in there, and good music is good music. So
but they broke my heart when they didn't
know who
bad.
Bono was. I mean, they haven't done
it. I was like, what? How do you not know
I was
Bono?
at a meeting yesterday where, and these were professionals where it was at the Bridging the Gap, Robertson County, and one person's like, I'll be Pat Sajak and you be Vanna, and the other, this is a grown professional woman, was like, who's Pat Sajak and Vanna? So I was like, oh my. So, you know.
Oh man, it's
still
a different time.
Though.
They are still on television.
People don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
They stream. I've turned off everything.
I'll go directly what I want to go to.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They grew up doing that.
Yeah.
They don't. You say, did you ever watch Andy Griffith? Well, no. Why would we watch that?
I made a Price is Right reference today to my teenagers that I teach my religion class to, and they had no idea what I was talking about because I only watched Price is Right when I was sick. That's what was on in the middle of the day. Well, when they're sick, they get to stream whatever they want when they're sick.
It's a different time. Like she said, their first language is digital.
She's right.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Anyway,
but I truly, man, that was really interesting. I just some of the things that they were just. I can't imagine having that job. Oh, how hard it would be. It's anyway. But
she does an incredible job at it too. I have sat in her courtroom and watched her work amazing skills and seen her with different clients. So it's not just like that's the way she always is. She's absolutely amazing with people and just kind of lets them vomit their story in a way that either gets them in trouble or clears their name. It's pretty amazing. She's got great talents. But anyway, today is the Habitat for Humanity lunch at the center. If you have RSVP, come to that. If you haven't, make a donation anyway. We are going to start. I think that the announcement they're going to say today is where they're going to build their new Robertson County house. But I know that they have been working on getting funding for that Robertson County house, and so I'm hoping they say they have a surprise announcement. I'm really hoping that's what it is, but I don't. Anyway, don't quote me on it.
Well, they haven't done one here in a while.
They haven't. It's been a good long while.
They've been looking for land. It's not easy to find. Yeah, it's not easy to find, and they're obviously constrained to a budget being a nonprofit and getting donations. Right. So, yeah.
And those who think that a Habitat for Humanity house is free, it's not.
No.
You have to actually pay the mortgage. But what is free is the interest rate. So I would love a Habitat for Humanity house.
I've had several of my friends from Egypt that have been in Habitat. I've got a friend that he's legally blind, and they are in a Habitat for Humanity house in downtown Nashville that will be worth so much money after because you have to stay in it for so long, and it was just such a God thing with them. Oh my goodness, he's married, got 3 kids, and it's just been such a blessing to them. And I mean, it is amazing, but they can't just up and leave it. I had another friend, an Egyptian family. They had gotten in a Habitat house, and they started making a little more money, and he gave it up. I mean, he lost a lot of investment that he had done to that point because you are obligated to stay in there. And he's like, I want to move on. So I'm going to take the hit and we're moving on. And they're doing well. But when they needed that, it got them out of it. They were living in a terrible apartment up in Nashville for years. And that was the only, and it was just what they needed for a few years. But then there's a lot of rules that go with it. So just,
I'm glad she said that because we've been involved in a couple of builds in Cheatham County, and we'll be excited to be involved in the build, hopefully in Robertson County when it happens. I would love to be involved in that. And I'm the least handy person ever, thanks to YouTube, I can function in life, but not. There's things that you can do. So if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, that's a great opportunity to just put that little plug in. But I didn't know all this stuff either that they had to do, the tenant the homeowner had to do leading up, the amount of time that they're required to put in on the build itself, the education piece that goes around it from a financial standpoint. Like you said, they're heavily invested in this. It's not like they've just been gifted a house and say, there you go. That they've been involved in every step of the process. So it's an amazing organization.
I remember trying to get them all work boots so they could go work on the site because they're like, we need special boots. We need boots that, and so we were trying to get work boots together for some of them so they could go work. They needed work boots. But anyway, that's wonderful. So y'all let me know when you hear.
Yes, I'm excited.
I want details. So
there's going to be an announcement today. I'm hoping that's the announcement, but whatever it is, it's going to be awesome and exciting. But last week we had a partner lunch with United Way partners that report outcomes in Robertson County. It was amazing. We have 41 different agencies that report outcomes in Robertson County, and that's not the direct service we're doing in Robertson County. That's just agencies we support that are doing work in Robertson County. So there's a lot of agencies that do not have like a location here, but are doing work here. And so that is something that I don't think everybody understands is how many people from Middle Tennessee care about our rural county and want to do work here and support us here. And so it was pretty amazing to watch this group of amazing adults come together, have lunch together, and talk about the problems in Robertson County and what we can do to solve for those problems. And so that was awesome to see. But we do have like direct services here, and one of them I need to start plugging is VITA, which is our free income tax preparation. And so starting to plug is we need a couple more volunteers for that program. So it's a Saturday commitment during the heaviest time of tax season. But this is, these are professionals that we need, people that either have some kind of background in education or in taxes or, something like that. And so we're looking for a couple people to help us fill out our volunteers in that area. And then we also need people who know how to take a picture and upload it. So if you can put a picture on Facebook, you can be one of our, what they call a navigator, and that's just somebody who there's already free programs out there, so it just it helps navigate people through that process of, now you need this document, and so anybody who can, if you can work Facebook, you can be a navigator.
How would you ever find anybody around that could do that? That's such a specialized skill. I don't know how you will find that.
I know. So that's why we got to start now.
You need navigators for the tax program.
We need navigators, and we need people who are willing to actually prepare the taxes. So we need both kinds of. So, you know how I always say that if you have a passion, there's a place for you to plug in, right? Yeah. And I found that to be true. We volunteered at Cope a couple weeks ago with my teenagers, or with all my kids. And the volunteer opportunity was to take clothes off a hanger and throw it on the floor. My kids have been training for that volunteer opportunity their whole entire life.
Their time to shine.
It was their time to shine. They have never been better qualified for any volunteer opportunity. So when I mean literally anything you're good at, we can find a place for you to plug in.
They were switching out the summer clothes with the winter clothes, taking the
they
summer
were
off, and right.
And all they had to do was take it off the hanger, drop it on the floor, and then we came by with bags and scooped it up. And like they've never excelled so much in their lives.
We should have sent Henry up there. He would have been fantastic. Especially if he could throw it through the store, that would be even better.
It would have been fine as long as he picks it up afterwards.
Yeah. I just love listening to you guys with kids at home. Right. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
Enjoy it.
Right.
Oh, it's fun. It's a blessing.
It is.
It's a blessing. I'd like to turn back time sometime, but no.
Not all the time,
no.
though.
Let's pause for a second and talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Oh, my goodness.
I got CBD salve.
Did you?
The other day.
Yep. I just can't.
I drove out there to get it.
Stuff. I took. There's times I take it more than others because I just have more arthritic stuff going on.
Right.
Getting real close to having my knees replaced, and got some joint stuff going on right here, and so I needed a little bit more, and it's so it just gives me so much relief. It really does. Go check it out. And the salves. Go ahead and tell your salve. Go ahead and tell the story. Come on, Brian.
Well, she's got a salve story.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, I don't know if I have a story, but
Okay.
my kids, they get to eat up. They get really eat up, and so I have one kid that scratches until he bleeds, and so I was done with the bloody legs.
Yeah,
the bloody legs, and so I went out there and got CBD salve from Corbin Creek Greenhouse, and put it on and stopped the scratch until he bled, and so his legs are actually finally healing instead of just reopening the scabs.
There you go.
And while I was out there, they had a CBD product for headaches, which I have a 8-year-old who gets migraines, and so and she's gotten a couple since I got it, and you just put it on the temples and.
I hadn't even thought about that. My grandson, he gets a little bit of. He has one of my grandsons. I have two, almost three.
I need to get.
But yeah, I hadn't even thought about getting because I wonder. And I don't. It's safe for kids. I never thought about that. It's all natural. Why?
Is it something you just rub on there?
You just rub it on. It's not just CBD, and it's got like peppermint oil, which is also really good for headaches and stuff. And she just rubs it on her temples, and like
my daughter gets some, especially at the end of a day. Like I think it's a tired headache, but she gets some, and we always give her.
I need to go get some of that too. Okay,
Yeah,
we're all coming to get
too
headache
much ibuprofen is like
it's not good.
Death for those kids' livers and kidneys.
You better believe it. Oh, that's amazing.
Picking it up?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We'll be to see you soon, and we'll have to tell your fire ant story.
I will. That's always on deck. But I also will say the stuff I bought back in May is still thriving at my house.
You're still producing vegetables and stuff.
I'm still getting vegetables. Also the flowers and all the stuff. beautiful, and the vegetables. I've got tomatoes in there. It's slowed down but it's the end of the year. But I've had them for 2 months now, and then the stuff in the baskets still look like it did when I got it back in May. It is by far the best year for that I've ever had. Usually that stuff's dead by now because of my fault, not their fault.
I was gonna say
that's on me. It's user error, but minimal water. Like, I mean, just because we had a nice wet summer too, that kind of helped, and only a couple of real hot stretches, but it's been beautiful. So,
that's good.
Money well spent.
That's awesome. And now's the time to go out and get pansies. They've got those coming in, and they're absolutely beautiful. They've still got some mums. They'll get limited. You got to get on out there and get yours before they're gone. But just beautiful stuff at Corbin. Cannot say enough about these folks. Love them. They're full-time sponsors here at One Street Over. So when you get by there, their hours right now are 10 to 4. Monday through Saturday, and then on Sunday they're open 1 to 4. Go by and see Miss Amy, see Miss Jane, and all the folks at Corbin Creek, and tell them we all sent you. And what else we need to talk about, y'all?
I've got to give a couple little shout outs to our corporate partners. Farmers Bank just wrapped up their campaign. I got the note yesterday. They were up this year. Awesome. They have been one of our longest term partners in Robertson County and just do amazing work. Big shout out to Becky and Emma at Farmers Bank and appreciate what they do. I think my math's going to be terrible. I want to say it's like their 19th year of running a campaign. So they've been doing it a long time and just do a wonderful job. It starts with their leadership and having a heart for their community and wanting to be involved. It's a great place. And so if you are looking for a bank and you want to do some business, Farmers Bank you're just going to find good people there. So we're really appreciative of them. And we've got Cumberland Electric kicking off next week.
Oh, yeah.
Dropping off some pledge forms down at their main office in Clarksville when I leave here. We have 5 kickoffs at all their locations next week, which I'm really excited because we're back into all their locations. First time since COVID that we're going to do in person and get to talk to all their employees. We'll have the one in Springfield next Friday. And so just very excited to partner up with them again and run the campaign, but actually get to do in-person stuff. So it's going to be really cool.
Just so nice. It's so nice to be able to look people in the eye.
And talk to them and answer questions because what you'll find is you can, hey, here's my card or the virtual stuff or whatever. When you're standing there face to face with somebody and they bring in donuts and coffee and all that kind of stuff and you're actually like talking to them, they're going to ask you real questions. Mm-hmm. And I had a couple kickoffs this week and the people like had legitimate about family members that were going through stuff and they're like, what do I do? And then it was like, we have resources for that. So that's in addition to raising the money, and we might lose some, we're going down here.
No, I think we're okay so far.
Having the opportunity to get in front and actually talk to real people and plug them into our resources is a big part of what we do, and so we're just really excited. So
I love it. I love it. United Way. If you guys haven't checked out United Way, you don't know what you're missing. And we appreciate all you do. Have you got anything else coming up?
Yes, we've got Give Thanks coming up. I can't believe it's time to already start talking about this. Yes.
It'll be October, so,
So there you go.
Oh, yes, it is time. And in fact, our packing day is going to be November 9th. So we really are like close to a month out from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are going to start taking donations. Get your teams ready. However you want to gather some things together to put together a box. I remember what it cost about last year. It was like less than $50, or about $50.
If you bargain shop, I know groceries have gone up a little bit, but between $50 and $70, depending on if you go name brand or if you can get the store brands, and you can get creative there and maybe hit a sale or something and load up. But yeah, it's not a lot, and it's again a good way if your company's like, hey, I'd like to get involved with the United Way, but I'm not ready to do a campaign or I don't know what to do. This is a great dip your toe in the water opportunity right here and just get involved with us and see what we're about. And we'll walk you through every step of this. And it's a great team building exercise for your employees. You want to engage them. It's like, we don't ever do anything for our community here. It's a great way. Everybody understands times where food has been a little scarce or the grocery bill's a little tight. And this is helping families right here in Robertson County during the Thanksgiving holidays. So it's a great opportunity to get involved.
Absolutely. So how many are you wanting to put together this year?
A million. No?
Ryan wants to pack $1 million.
He wants to pack $1 million.
Yes.
As many as we can get.
As many as we can get. We gave out about 200 last year. It'd be nice to even be able to do more this year. So we would love the community support in that. I mean, I spent a lot of time in November last year, shopping at Walmart because people just would hey, I don't have time to put together, but here's
Here you go.
Here's some money. And
We
so
take cash and check.
we
too.
take, yep.
And whatever else.
Whatever, however you want to
However
give
else you wanna
us, however you want to
give
give us money, whether you want to buy it yourself, which was also really fun. I'm going to put a plug in for families. Like, it was really fun to take my kids shopping and be like, all right, we need one of this, we need two of this, and
Yeah, let them do it together.
yeah, and so it was really fun to like just do that as a family building thing, but also for I saw also like workplaces where the ladies would go shopping, or and they would kind of do the same thing, and we had a group of high schoolers that got together and packed some boxes, and so really the thing is like it's like $50 to $75 to pack a box. You don't have to do that by yourself.
Oh.
Right. If you are like, that's way too, food is really expensive right now, and it's really hard. The Family Resource Center, just sidebar, they are helping out a lot of people because of the food bills, and their food pantry is running low. So if you've got any for the Family Resource Center, of course, our United Ministries can always take food donations too. So if you have a little bit extra to spare, this is a time to help somebody else. And so anyway, there's a place to plug in.
Yep.
I love it.
We've had Girl Scout troops, dance troops, ball teams, churches. If you got life groups at your church and you're looking to do something, these are great opportunities. It's not a heavy lift, and it makes a big difference for people. You're feeding a family of 4 for the entire Thanksgiving weekend at a time. They be like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, or we're not doing a holiday meal this year, and my kids are homeschooled and they're going to eat the pantry. Like, this is a great opportunity to help people right here in this community.
And if you're already seeing that you're going to be somebody in need, reach out to United
Yes,
Way.
please
reach
do.
out to them, let them know.
Please do.
And just say, hey, I'm struggling. Can I get on the list, man? Would that work?
Right, absolutely. Now is the time to get food boxes. It's a good time if you're not going to have Christmas for your kids. Now is the time to start getting on the Christmas list. In fact, on the 211 website, there is a link for toy drives that you can already go in and put yourself on those lists. If you wait, this is the biggest problem that I have is people call me the day before they're about to be evicted, the day before Christmas, the day, because they were hoping something would come through. It's much better to start getting help and then having something come through and not needing the help than it is to wait till the last minute. So please, if you need help or somebody that needs help, the sooner you get somebody's attention around the issue, the better we are going to be able to serve them. I have had people be like, I'm going to be evicted today at 4:00, and I have to say, I am so sorry. I really am so sorry.
Let me pause and do that. We need to do the Veterans Motorplex. We may just stay in here and talk because it's pouring down rain. I don't know if we want to go out in
You have a boat out there in the parking lot there?
We need that rain. Boy, you go down to my house right now, and that creek's going to rise fast. But
Mississippi will be running the other way.
let me do the Veterans Motorplex ad, and then just if there's a place where we can get the info of what needs to go in the Thanksgiving boxes, if that's out there yet. And then we'll wrap it up. But I do want to talk for a minute about our Veterans Motorplex because they got a big race coming up this weekend. It is, of course, Saturday. The one to benefit St. Louis Children's Hospital is going to be a week from Saturday. What you've got going on this Saturday is just the normal racing day, which is a fun time. No matter, I've got to get back out there. I was out there for the big rig race, and that was a blast. Just watching those big rig trucks go around the track. If you've not been out with your family, guys, it's a $40 ticket. We'll get in up to 6 kids and 2 adults. $40. Great racing. Gates open at 4 every Saturday. They go in from 6 to 9 as when the racing starts, but you can get out there early and watch qualifications. A lot of times they'll have big wheel races for the kiddos, just all kinds of fun stuff going on. But they've got a great weekend going on with the races at Veterans Motorplex, Old Highland Rim Speedway. They're also a sponsor at the Car, Truck, and Bike Show that's happening at 2408 Music Valley Drive in Nashville this weekend. But then the 14th, they're having a benefit for the St. Louis Children's Hospital. It's a 40-lap front-wheel drive race with up to $1,000 to win, and they're going to have more info. But you can just go to the Old Highland Rim Speedway page, follow them there on social media for Veterans Motorplex. But again, Highland Rim Speedway, this is the Old Highland Rim Speedway. That's where you can follow Veterans Motorplex and find all the things happening in the community. Jerry, great friends of the community. They're at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. You can call Jerry, 615-643-8725, 615-643-8725. Always let him know that you turned sunshine. He wants to have you come out to the races before the season ends. Season's end at the end of October. What else we got, guys? Before we wrap it up.
If you want
Yes.
to be on the list for the Give Thanks to get an email about what to put in the boxes, please email me at tiffany.thompson. That's THOMSON, no P. Tiffany.thompson@unitedwaygn.org, and I will add you to that list, and we will be sending those out shortly so people can start putting their boxes together.
Very good. Very good. Any parting thoughts?
That's it. We're just we're in the middle of campaign season. Thank you to everybody that's supporting the United Way and our partner agencies' efforts in the communities that we serve. Thank you.
Okay, so are y'all going to be here next week?
I will not be. I'm kicking off all next week. So I got 7 a.m. kickoffs every day next week. Yes, so I will not be. But
You got 7. What do you mean?
we kick off the campaign, so we're going to all the Cumberland. So they want to catch the guys before they go out, and so we'll be at set. I got our early mornings for
okay.
yeah. So
Bring somebody.
busy week.
Okay,
somebody.
sounds good.
Yeah.
The week after fall break, I won't be here.
Okay, will you be here fall break?
No, we're going out of town.
Okay,
So, yeah.
good to know. Just
Yeah.
kind of getting some programming notes, kind of
Yeah.
getting messed because we're kind of stalling. We don't want to go out there in that rain.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. Have a wonderful day. God bless.